Hey everyone. So I thought I'd do something a bit different and make like a rambly unscripted video about my clock performance at ausnats, which was about a week and a half ago at um, Moreton Bay in Queensland. Um, I'm just gonna start like with my overall thoughts like of the comp itself. Got to catch up with everyone that I met at both Oceanics and ausnats last year. It was kind of great to just see those familiar faces. Got to talk to a lot at both those comps last year, and yeah, overall, it was a really great experience. Obviously, for me personally, I don't think it was as great as ausnats last year. I think it would be very hard to top at that, so I'm not going to really hold that against the comp. But yeah, with that like out of the way, I'm gonna talk about the clock rounds that I competed in, because they were something. The first round was like anything but eventful, really. My mindset into this day was pretty much aiming to be like, just try to get used to the environment of competing on a national stage again, see what works, and if something works, you know what to do from the finals, and you'll be fine. So first round, I didn't really. It was really uneventful. So I was scrambling the first group, and I saw that Conan DNF'd a 3.37, which was quite unfortunate for him. But spoilers, he did redeem himself later. So yeah, that happened, and I was like, damn, that sucks for him. And then I go to compete, and I honestly have like a really, really, really below average performance. I started out with like 2 5s or something. I don't really exactly remember the order of my solos, but I remember I got a 5, a 4, a low 4, another 5, another low 4. No, I ended with a low 4 anyway. All I know is that I counted like uh two low 5s and a low 4. Was it a high? Okay, it was a mid 5, a low 5, and a low 4 that I counted, and that gave me like a 4.86 average, I believe. So I was like, yeah, whatever. It's like really not great. My main focus for that comp was just like try to get as close as possible to getting a sub 4 average, if you don't. So yeah, round one happens, pretty mediocre performance, but that still won me the round because Conan didn't really do that great either. I barely won the round. He got a 4.91 average, I believe. Not sure. But then it comes time for round two, which was towards the tail end of the day. Like clock was the first non-blind event in the afternoon because the morning was just blind events. So right before clock round two, I was kind of trying a different strategy to approach comp routine and like trying to like get my head into the zone. I don't know what's the right word for that. Flow state, I guess. I don't know. I was just trying whatever I can to like minimize the pressure that I was putting on myself, but I guess it kind of worked for this round because I didn't really have that many expectations for this round in particular, apart from like obviously go for the best result I can get. So yeah, I kind of went into the round trying like a bunch of different new things to see, just kind of experiment and see what would work for finals to make sure I'm calm. But I feel like a common theme with this comp is that like I focused too much on the fact that I was competing for I was focused on like my performance like a lot, like more than I should have been. Uh, so yeah, gets time to compete. I do my first solve. It was a 365, which was uh, quite a nice solve if I recall correctly. Yeah, there was nothing about it that I was unhappy with. Obviously, like a mid three, I'm gonna take that. I'm not gonna like 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna get a mid three officially and say, uh, "Oh, I'm happy with that," or rather than like, "Oh, that should have been much better," unless, of course, it's like a really, really lucky scramble that I minorly messed up on. So yeah, I start with a mid three. Next solve, I get a 4.45. Now, when I first looked at that scramble, I thought, oh my god, there is a two move first side. If everything else is really good, this could be like a really, really, really good solve. Which it wasn't, obviously, considering that scramble was good. Good-ish. The second side wasn't like really that great. But I did still mess it up like a tiny bit. So that got me a mid four, which I was like quite unhappy with, like because I thought I could have canted like easily canted like another mid three. Yeah. So I get to my third solve. This solve was like quite average. Like it wasn't the like a really nice scramble. Actually, it was an okay scramble. Like it wasn't bad, but it was something I could get like a low four on, like probably, but I did not get a low four. I got a high four, which I was not happy with because that I feel like was one of the things that really made it evident that I was putting pressure on myself to get a really good result. Because like that kind of made me like, nah, I'm not happy with this. So I went to the fourth solve, kind of like, oh, okay, well, you can't really uh, hope to get something exceptionally good here. But then I actually like did the solution and it had really, really nice turning, and I got another mid three from that, a 450, 457, I believe it was, which was it's my current PR2 single, which is weird to think about considering my PR is 311, and I feel like my PR2 before that should have been way faster, but it wasn't. So yeah, that's my second best official clock solve, and I was quite pleased with it. It had nice turning. I didn't really mess up much. There wasn't really anything to complain about, but most importantly, that got me accounting 365. And I was like, oh my god, let's go. Not only do I did I now get like OCR counting, which is like obviously OCR counting is like it's a bit meaningless, but in the moment I was like, but then yeah, I like that obviously like made me know for sure that I was on pace to break OCR or average or and give me potential to get like a 3.8 ish average. I believe the best possible was 389, which once again isn't my best possible average that I've ever gotten, which was wild. So I go to do my last solve. I'm like, okay, well, this is it, I guess. This last solve could decide um, if the day is going to be an amazing day or not, which in retrospect is kind of a really unhealthy way to go about it, because like when you start thinking like during your inspection, this solve could like make or break my day, uh it really does put the pressure on you quite a bit. um so yeah, I put my hands down on the timer, begin my solve. I start with my first face, decent turning, not really any mistakes so far. um I flip, do my second side, um and the last two moves, um I can't remember exactly, but I don't really know exactly how to like reproduce what happened in the DNF of that solve. But yes, I did DNF that solve um, by something like this. So it was something similar to this, where I messed up the second last move and then did the last one normally. So like that block was off. So yeah, I do that. I stop the timer. I look at the time, 4.2. I like in that split second, I think, oh my god, I just broke OCR. But then I like right after that, look at the clock, quickly glancing at it to check like if it's all good. But like to my surprise, it wasn't. Like I thought I did those moves correctly, but apparently I didn't. And obviously, I really that made me quite upset. It's another record fail in the books, and like I've had like 10,000 of those already. But later that day, I kind of just like realized, oh, you just would have gotten like an average file. You would have just basically broken your PR. It's not like you would have taken the record from someone else and brought it back to you, or like you didn't really fail sub 4, because without the DNF it would have been 4.1 the average. So like it's not like you failed any barriers or anything. You just can't say you lowered the OCR and got another thing that says OCR on your profile. So like I kind of realized that was like, I guess not much point in being angry about that. Like it's just something to do later. I guess I'll lower it past that 4.1 eventually. But yeah, it did make me quite upset for like the majority of the remainder of the day. But like it was towards the end of the like that night where I was just like, yeah, whatever, it happens. Nothing I'm familiar with. So yeah, that was like kind of the end of clock for those next few days. Yeah, day 2 and 3 happen. Like I enjoy my comp as usual. Then I get to day 4. Obviously, like leading up to this day, I was really excited because like it was the day where I was competing in pretty much everything in the morning. I didn't really have to wait much between rounds to compete, so it was just like a lot of competing, which was what I was all about. Because like obviously I don't. Who likes waiting like a long time between rounds to compete? Yeah. So obviously, like clock finals, I knew clock finals was going to happen, and I was kind of mentally preparing myself for that. But also, I had like a lot of other goals, like trying to break my 3x3 PRs, as well as trying to make pretty much as many finals as I can. But honestly, this I was not prepared for what was going to happen during the morning of this day, day 4 of the comp. Um, Long story short, I kind of choked pretty much everything I competed in, which was like 3x3, 2x2, Pira, obviously. Like I care obviously most about 3x3 rather than all these things, but like Pyrrhus Cube, like I don't care about. But also Squan, I did not do well in that all. Basically, it was just like a string of bad result after bad result after bad result, which was like really, it was getting me down like a bit, but I try to keep myself in the headspace of like, right, you can't stay like this because like you got clock final soon. You got to stay optimistic, right? So I just keep trying to push through like my bad results from the day. Which obviously like the real bummer was 3x3 semis, which I like completely failed. And meant I was not able to beat my long overdue goal of getting a sub 9 official average, which was quite rough, but I guess it's another thing for the future, really. So yeah, clock finals was going to be the last event before lunch in the morning. And in the lead up to it, I was like slightly more nervous than I thought I would be, like thinking about it, which was strange because like I've been in this situation before, but amplified, obviously. Like I was at Oceanics finals last year. I was at Worlds finals, obviously, which I was first seed for. Like obviously, like I thought to myself, obviously you've been in high pressure situations. Why are you so nervous for this particular final? So yeah, it was kind of strange. I don't know why I was that nervous for the round. Thinking about it, I guess it was kind of, I was really, really aiming for that epic redemption story after last year's Nats and Oceanics. So yeah, I thought if you want to ever redeem yourself, then you got to do it now. Another unhealthy thought of mine, which kind of pushed me into a bad mindset for competing. But it's done. It's happened. I get to competing in clock final. First solve, I get a 5, I believe, which is obviously like, I don't want to get a 5. I don't really want that to count if I want a chance of winning, or like at least breaking a PR average. Yeah, and also at this time I'm like trying the same routine and strategies that I used in round 2 to hope that like my nerves in round 2 would be sort of replicated, because like my nerves in round 2 were like not really that present. But looking back, I feel like it was mostly just after the first solve getting a good start, like it got me some momentum and got me to put my head into like a healthy mindset of like, okay, you've got a good solve, you're going in the right direction, you can do this easily. But starting with the bad solve typically like ruins the rest of my average. Like I can't really recover starting with the bad solve, which is another thing I really need to work on. So yeah, that happens. I'm like, damn, just try not to mess anything else up. But then I go to do my next solve. I mess up a lot while solving my first side. and then I feel like after I flip and start doing my second time that I've accidentally done a back turn, which pretty much ruined my entire solo. Obviously, I double flipped during that solve and got an 8. Um, obviously, in no world this year or last year or the year before am I going to be happy with an official 8. Yeah, I get an 8, so obviously, like, I think, right, well, I guess my chances for um, breaking OCR or like getting a really good average are gone. I guess time to focus on just getting a decent enough average to win, or like podium at the very least, or come second if you can't beat Conan, because he always, not always, but he usually outperforms me in finals of rounds, especially major finals. So yeah, it gets to the third solve. Like I see next to me, Conan has gotten his PR single of 3.34, which was like really cool. Like I wanted to be really happy for him, but at the same time, I didn't want to like focus too much on what was happening around me. So I just glanced at the time that he got, saw that I was happy, and gave him a fist bump next to him. So yeah, my clock arrives for this solve. I start my inspection. I see the scramble, and I'm like, this is good. Probably not something I'm gonna get a really good solve on, but it looks really. It looks like something I could also get a low 3 on. So yeah. Then I was not prepared for what was going to happen for this solve. I put my hands on the timer. I started my clock solve. I got, like, when I was solving, nothing went wrong. I thought it was going to be a really decent solve. But then towards the end, as I was doing my last couple of moves, and I looked down to the time of, like, right before I stop it, I see 0.000, which means I did not start the timer. And obviously that meant my solve would be DNF'd and I would be counting an 8. And that literally, it destroyed me. Like, not only did I like mess up another good solve, I also I also counted an 8, which, unless I counted like a 3 or something, which was probably not possible with the amount of nerves and disappointment I had at this point. Like, unless I counted a 3, my chances of even podiuming was just out of the question. I did not even consider that a possibility, of not podiuming while not getting a DNF average. So yeah, I just finished my last 2 solves. I'm like, kind of like, I just want this to be over. The best I'm getting is probably like 3rd or something. I knew at this point, because I got like a low 4, low to mid, no, it was a mid 4, I think, yeah, and then like a 5, and like once that happened, I was like, I'm done, and I left the venue as soon as I could. Well, not like left, but like I stepped outside, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I did not foresee this happening at all. I did not know. I don't. I don't really know a better way to articulate this than to say it was just like one of the most disappointing moments I've had, and obviously like the most discouraged I've felt in regards to me and clock for like a long time. So it was kind of those moments where it was just like I didn't really know what to feel or what to do. Yeah, that brings us to here, where I've had quite a lot of time to just think about that round and my overall performance, and kind of just to take a step back, breathe, and be like, I can come back from this. Obviously, it's just another disappointment to add to the books, but like my others, I've gotten over them, and maybe my redemption didn't have to be at this year's ausnats. Maybe it could be next year's or the year after. Who knows? I'm also trying to see this like in a really positive light, as it has given me or highlighted like a lot of things that I should work on in terms of my mindset towards these clock rounds, as it's kind of made me realize that what I'm doing right now with thinking about how I should approach these rounds is like kind of not great. Especially if I care about getting good results and trying to minimize the pressure I put on myself. So it's given me a lot to work on, which I don't think would have happened if I had a good performance. It's really it. This might have been quite a long ramble. I don't know how long it's going to be once I trim everything down, but hopefully you're listening to this now, and you made it to the end. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. I've got quite a bit planned, and hopefully you and I will see some good results with clock in the future, and I can come back from this, which I reckon I can. Use discount code BlueJacket at speakshop.com, and catch you guys later.